I appreciate it. I am all about it. He's watching our show from his phone, and I love it. Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. It is another Thursday, and you are here with the F Your Feelings team. What's going on, twins? How's your week been?
All is good. No complaints over here. Sorry, I'm just trying to tell my cord over here, but I'm good. It's a great week. Rainy week, but still good. No complaints over here. It's another
I
great.
love that.
Here we
Love
are.
that. How are the kids enjoying their first week off?
The kids, they living the best life.
Of course they are.
Already getting in trouble. You know how kids are. You know they,
Oh,
you know that crap.
I'm like, it's been 1 week.
No, I know. But you know how kids are. Well, actually, my son. But he, I
He said, actually, my
boys will be
son.
boys.
I love that. It's funny, my nephew, I'm watching him with all of the boy energy, and I remember being really excited that I was having like a nephew, and I'm like really excited about boys. And then I'm watching him, I'm like, I'm so happy I got a girl. Like I am not prepared for what that is. And he just like he loves his dad, so it's like, his mom, she's still like free to roam, but when he's like on it, I'm like, what is happening right now? There's too much energy. So, shout out to the boy moms and dads. You guys are the real MVP. Yeah, girls have their moments, but for the most part, girls are chill.
So you say.
I mean, unless they turn into hoes. So,
Also,
so unless they turn into hoes. So I'm sorry for you moms and dads who have daughters who are hoes, but for the most part, girls are chill.
mm,
That's just that. Like some of us are hoes.
how are you doing?
Whew. I'm good. I'm good.
The year.
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a busy week. It's about to be a really busy next 96 hours. But I'm excited. As you know, and I think some of our audience who watch us regularly, I work for the organization that is the equivalent of the Academy in America, in LA. So ours is based in Toronto. So I work for that company and I manage the partnerships department. So we are embarking on our awards starting tomorrow morning, and they go all the way to the televised award show on Sunday, and then we have another major event on Monday. So I'll be working about 60 hours over the next 4 days, including the hours I've already worked this week, and I don't get a break until Friday. Friday, we do get a day off on Friday. So it's amazing. I am blessed. I'm really fortunate. Not a lot of people get to see their name scroll as part of an award show, and I can say that I'm one of the few elites. So I'm not going to complain. I've got all my outfits on deck. There are 5 different award show. I got 5 different outfits. Like my team is ready. They're like, "What is Toshiba wearing this year?" So I got them excited to see what I will have on. But enough about that. We already have like we're gonna have a jam packed show. I'm gonna try to keep the show to an hour, a little bit under an hour. This is a topic I wanted to talk about. Every week we do our dating tips and our relationship advice, and when Jeff is here, he does like his marriage advice. But I am curious to know about this particular topic in terms of surviving those red flags right in the beginning, especially lies. So let me set up a scenario I heard about the other day. So twins and Toshiba meet. Twins like Toshiba. You guys are vibing. It's about, you know, gone out on a few dates. Like we're chilling. What during the courting process, I told you I was 31 years old. I look 31, body is bodying, everything is doing what it's supposed to do. So you have no reason to doubt me that I'm 31 years old. What if later on, a few months into us vibing, you find out I'm actually 37 years old?
Interesting. So we starting this thing out on a lie.
I've lied about my age by 6 years. What's your next move?
Ah, man, that's kind of tough. That's kind of tough. I mean, first off, why did you lie? That's
Hmm,
the Why did you lie about being what 6 years younger than what you really are? I mean, we know black don't crack, right? So ain't no big deal there. But why did you feel you had to lie about that part? If you're lying about that and we just getting started, how can I believe anything else you say going forward now? Yeah. So the
Is it a
foundation, so the foundation of this thing called a relationship that we're working towards is already starting out kind of rocky. Granted, it's not the worst thing that you could have lied about, right? Not the worst thing in the world, but it's like it's not that deep. Why you have to lie about your age? So go ahead.
Okay, so you said something that was interesting, and I'm going to ask you a secondary question. You said it's not that deep. But as I started talking about the scenario, I thought to myself, what happens to women in their 30s? Our egg counts go down. So if you are a 37-year-old woman meeting a man who doesn't have children, pretty successful, is ready to be intentional and start a family. If you are 37 and he knows you're 37, his ideas about starting a family with you might be different than if you're 31, because we know the chances of having a healthy baby and all those things. Now, there are women who say, Toshiba, people are having babies in their late 40s and 50s. Good for them. I do not recommend. Okay. So if a woman is 37, you might think twice about, hey, if I were to court her, 2 years, we get married. That means she's about 33. Now I want to have maybe one or two babies. If we have, have them back to have, hopefully we're in the safe zone. So it makes her, 35, 36. I can still pop out two babies out of her, right? But if she's 37, you do that calculation. Now she's in her 40s. Does
Well, when you
that
feel
change the life for you?
that does big time there. Yeah, that does. Because anyone who is intentional and wants to have kids, you do understand that you want to have healthy kids. So you're
Mm,
taking a higher risk at the older age having a kid that may possibly, right, possibly
it
have a
happens,
disability, case may
indeed.
be, right? I mean, of course, as a guy, you want a boy. You know what I'm saying? I want my boy, or you like I want my girl, right? But
Hmm.
for me, my first thing was I just want a healthy child first. Number one. Once that healthy child part is good, then I'll go for a boy. You know what I'm saying? Then I have my preference because that's a lifetime. That child could be a challenge where they may never leave home, right?
Hmm.
You don't think
I
about
have a
that,
girlfriend that's going through that. I have a girlfriend who is a child who has Down syndrome. That child is likely not going to leave home, not at the age that most of our children leave home.
right? And that's something a lot of people don't think about until it's to that point. Your child might have autism or whatever it may be. That is a challenge that some people are not
Hmm.
really ready for. People are like, oh yeah, I have a kid and they're 18, they get out. Yes. But when they can't get out, that
Hmm.
plays a role because you have to change your lifestyle to be able to be a provider for a young adult until you die.
That part.
Yeah. So there.
That part.
So on that part, yes, that's a big deal.
Well, I'm going to hear what the gentlemen in the comments are saying. Ladies, if you're here, feel free. I know there's not ladies here. I checked our stats the other day, and our viewership is now 100% men. The women just stopped playing. Apparently, I was like, they unsubscribed. My,
Um,
I don't know if there's any channel where that is led by a female that the viewership is 100% male. If you guys don't believe me, I'm literally gonna pull up the analytics. I saw it like 2 days ago, and I was shocked. Anyways, Mr. said it's a no for me, dog. Women lying to us about our age usually results in getting locked up and put on a registry or destroy any hopes we had of having three children with her. Good night, sir. Um, good, 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 good night. King's Cash Court says, trust is broken off jump. You lie about your age. I'm questioning everything now. So, from you gentlemen at least, you feel that something like that is just, it's, is it making you pause to continue or are you just simply stopping?
I don't know, pause right away, but there's definitely some reservation.
So you may continue.
Depending, you know. If the young, if the lady's beautiful, got herself together, that I can't throw it all away just like that. Well, okay, she lied about her age, no big deal. Like I said, it depends on the person. Depends on where we're at in it. Like I said, if I'm being intentional in my early 30s and I want to have kids, then yes, that may be a big role, right? That might be a big deal. But if I'm in my 40s now, what I'm saying, I got kids already and don't plan to have any more kids, that's not gonna be too much of a big deal for me. That's twin speaking. That's for me. Everyone else is totally different. For me, it's not a big deal, but then it's going to question everything else. So then I have to, it's kind of have to restart the whole relationship all over again. And questions then I ask you, I'm gonna go back and ask you again, like, so are you sure XYZ now? Because now I can't trust what you're saying. So it may have a dent on the trust part of the relationship because now I'm not going to trust you as more because if you lie about your age. So that might be a big, yeah.
It's funny because you're saying exactly what King's Cash Court said, who's also saying it's another way of catfishing. That's an interesting way to look at it. And Mr. is saying, run, get to the chopper. I'm dead. Is there any lie that you potentially think is okay in the beginning of a relationship? Let me set up another scenario. I was watching a show yesterday slash this morning. And a lady is a former military. She's formerly in the military. She's retired from the Air Force. And she says she doesn't disclose to men that she is in the Air Force. And the person who's hosting the show said when she first was out in the dating field before she got married to her current husband, she's a celebrity publicist, but she used to tell people that she was in customer service because the military lady is afraid because as a former military wife, I can tell you. Their benefits are pretty damn good, especially for those of you in the United States of America who may not have great benefits. Those benefits being a military personnel or a military spouse is pretty good. And then, of course, if you're a celebrity, PR person, you're around celebrities, and some people are thirsty, according to these women. If a woman, I won't say lie, but told you she had a different career than she did to test to see whether or not you would be still interested, or in some ways thought you'd be thirsty, or you were using her for her benefits or whatever, and you found out her real career later on. How would you feel about that?
Well, in that sense, right there, I mean, those will be for the pookies that she's trying to avoid.
What's a pookie?
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, we as men, I really don't care what kind of job and what you got. My main concern is, I mean, you have a job, cool, all right, you make some money, but I don't, because at the end of the day, we as men know that women don't share, right? So even if you had this great job with awesome benefits, I'm not getting on your plan for what? Like, I mean, later on when we marry, we know y'all don't share, so we don't care. So for
I'm
me,
actually dead.
let's be twins right now. For me, I don't care if you was in the Air Force or XYZ. I don't care about it. I just don't care. You got great benefits. So, okay, good for you. But I'm not. I never dated a woman, right, or talked to a woman that based on what her job, her skill was, so I could benefit for what she has going on in her life. I
Mm-hmm,
just don't care.
mm-hmm.
My, I have to be, for me as the man, I need to be the person that had the best selling point for you to even entertain you and be with you. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Mr. saying men don't care about a woman's career unless it's going to be detrimental to our relationship. So basically, you're a stripper, you're a porn star, you're an OnlyFans girl. You're a hoe for a living. That's basically what I just heard, Mr. And it's funny, when I was hearing this conversation, I was just like, nobody cares about that. Like, I think sometimes we do overinflate our own ego, both as men or as women. We think people care about things that they don't care about. And the reality is, what's so interesting, and maybe this is why we don't have women followers, because I'm about to say shit like I'm about to say now. A lot of a lot of the times, what women don't consider is we use men every day, even in a relationship.
Message.
You gentlemen, I think it was you and Mr. who said it on a previous show, and I had to laugh because this has been the story of my life. Men have more money when they're single. Women have more money when we're in relationships because we do not use our own money. Things that we used to pay for, generally a man who was a provider and a protector and all these things that we say that they want, they pay for it. I thought my boyfriend definitely has less money because a lot of his money now funnels to the things that I want to do and trips that I want to take and places that I want to go. And I have more money in my pocket, technically. So it is always interesting to me that as women, we have this like, men are going to use us and men care about. And I'm thinking, we use men every day. We use men for what we eat. We use men for where we go. We use men literally for everything. If I don't want to have, like, if I decide, for a month, I don't, if I was single, babe, if you're watching, I'm only talking about if I was single. If I were single and I did not want to cook for 30 days straight, I guarantee you I could find a man to take me out to dinner for 30 days straight. Same man or a different man, likely different men for 30 days straight. There is not a man in this world who's going to say that he can find a woman who's going to take him and pay for dinner 30 days straight. So I always think it's so interesting that as women, we're afraid, and we say that part of the reason that we lie or we withhold the truth or we omit, because omission is still a lie, right? Is because we don't want a man to see us a certain way. But I think we overinflate ourselves because the things that we say we don't want done to us as women, we do to men every day.
Yeah, message. One thing I will say is that now something that men do care about when if you start a relationship off a lie or whatever. So if if you're a lady who used to be in a lifestyle of having these freak off parties and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Ah, not somebody watching the Diddy trial.
You know what I'm saying? Just, you might want to let me know what you should get into before we start this family of ours. Then later on, it comes out that you was involved in some off the wall stuff that, yeah, I can't stomach it. I can't let that slide. So yeah, some things you can't lie about everything. So if you used to be OnlyFans or in the porn industry, yeah, that's something you need to be upfront. Because if I find out about it later on, it's gonna be detrimental to the relationship.
How soon would you want to know this information?
Oh, I need to know very soon before, yeah, very, very soon. If you had that type of old lifestyle that you was into, if you had an adult past, I need to know that information up front. I don't want to stumble on no video. I don't want to stumble in a party. I don't want to stumble at court. Yeah, something I need to know up front so I know what I'm getting into, so I'm not blindsided. Because the worst thing to do is me being blindsided from stuff that you should have told me before anyone else did.
How far back would you want to know? So a woman was a stripper in her 20s, early 20s, say 21 to 25. You meet her and she's now 43. So 18 years ago, she now has a very corporate career, all that stuff. Do you want to know 18 to 20 something years ago, I used to be a dancer? There's
No,
no videos, there's no nothing.
Oh, well, now, no, something like that, right? And that's the perfect scenario you just gave. No, that doesn't matter, right? But
She was a stripper 4 years ago in the land of Instagram, and potentially, things are, out there in it because it's Instagram world now. We have that 20 something years ago, life was different. 4 years ago. Do you want to know?
it just depends. So if you were just a stripper, right? Okay, whatever. I don't care about that, right? But if you was a stripper, you used to do after party stripping stuff, and then come to find out you used to get bust down by 4 or 5 dudes at a time, that's something I need to know. That's what I need to know.
A lot of you have been, I see Mr. has also been paying attention to the Diddy trial and hearing about the free costs. I'm just going to leave that there. If you guys want to know more, there are other channels. You can go to my girl, Simone Redwine's channel. Girl is that legal, and she's breaking down the Diddy case every day. But there are some men who are scratching their head and questioning, what they've heard. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'll just say this: if I was married to her, as of right now, I'm caught. I already said before with my fellows. Yeah, he gonna stay with her during this process, but once it's over, he's filed for divorce. That's the emotional damage. Just something you just can't come back from.
Do you
Like
think
some
so?
things, yeah, he ain't come back. Yeah. It's like, mm-mm. See,
Is it the?
it's
Go
different when
ahead.
it's taken to the grave, but when it's put out there in the world that everyone
Oh, the whole
hears,
world knows.
that's a little different now. Because as a man, when I marry you, you know what I'm saying? You're my, like, marrying a woman is like the ultimate stunt, the ultimate, as a man, like, yeah, this is my woman. She's
Mhm. Mhm.
me. You see us, you see her, you see me. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like, is that, I don't know. I'm probably saying it wrong, but it hits different when a man has chosen a woman to be his wife to bear his last name. So you're my future. We have kids together, XYZ. That's it. Like, I don't care who had you before me. I'm with you now, right? But when it comes to find out, oh, everyone had you before me, I kind of lose that power. That I kind of lose that. Ah, damn! I thought I was
Not
special.
everyone.
Wow, you ain't special. And to kind of find out she was doing things with other people that she won't even do with you. I'm just saying, like that. Now, if that went to the grave, fine. But because her previous history was opened up like a book, and all the details, very intimate detail was displayed. Yeah, he he can't go out with the fellas now and be drinking, and he can't play football, basketball, sports, and talking shit because then it gets serious. Boys going, oh, this my girl, my wife ain't no XYZ. Like, he just can't come back from that. And God forbid they have kids. Well, they do have kids. You think kids gonna let that slide in school when they find out his mom is Cassie? Like, no, no. And as kids, we is so mean. Oh, we is so mean. Trust me. I'm done.
Let me ask you this. So we're just gonna, for those of you who do not know what we're talking about, there was a lot of things that were revealed when Cassie took the stand at Diddy's trial, including the fact that her and Diddy, whether people believe it was coerced or not, there are a lot of people saying that she was clearly coerced, and she did it under duress. But either way, she was in some what they call FOs, freak off, with Diddy. Now, one of the things, I won't lie, as a woman, that struck me, that made me go, girl, was after she left Diddy and she went to her now husband and said that Diddy had R worded her, I think, great. Diddy had graped her. And then subsequently after, in a very short time period, I think it was either a few days or a few weeks later, she was back in bed with Diddy, and her current husband FaceTimed her. She clearly ignored the FaceTime. She did not answer because she was with Diddy. But here was a man who was felt like he was rescuing her from the big bad wolf that is Diddy, because he's an awful man and he's treated me badly. And I think most people have seen the video. We know that Diddy is not innocent in what has happened, especially when it comes to that video. That we know for sure with Cassie. However, where I question is you have an opportunity to leave. You have left. You're with a man who's caring and loving and nurturing and all the things that this man who financially supported you is not. But then you go back to him after claiming to that husband who has rescued you. I don't think they were married yet, but they were close to, and you have relations with him. Your man FaceTimes you. You ignore it. And now I think the first time he found out about it was when she testified. Now that to me was emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
I felt he knew about the freak off. Like I felt he was, because he was also around Diddy. I think anybody who was around Diddy understood the freak off. And if Cassie was his woman for 13 years, she wasn't. But to be clear, my man is, Lexington Steele, and he doing. I'm probably made a couple of movies with Lexington, right? Like, okay, like I probably made a couple of movies with Lexington Steele. Let's just call it what it is. But what I don't think that man expected to hear was that after he had been her savior, is that she then went back to Diddy and was engaging with him. And then after, and I think also after Kim Porter passed away, she was upset that this is now after she was really with Alex. She was upset that Diddy called Kim Porter the love of his life and was still messaging Diddy about she didn't want their last freak off to be their last time. Like that is emotional damage. Now I think that type of lie, I don't know if anybody gets over that. Will he divorce her? I'm not a man, I don't know. But according to, I know a couple of you men who watch this channel, they think that Cassie's days are numbered being Mrs. Fine.
I agree. Also, that's the same scenario goes back to forget Cassie for a moment. Just when fathers or brothers, whatever, may have a sister or daughter, whatever, who's dating someone and the guy's supposed to be abusive, whatever, and you go over there and you beat dude up or whatever it may be, y'all have a complication, and then she goes right back to dude, right? And it's like, sometimes as a man, that can cost you your life depending on the situation, right? Just so you could keep running back to that same person. And so it was like, yeah, you have to be careful how you have to use intelligence. Just saying.
Mr. Mrs. said, this is why men don't protect just any woman just because she's a woman. A lot of women will just go back and F that guy who hurt her or someone else like him.
Message. So, we're staying on topic, but that's once again.
Yeah, because it was a lie.
This tip is based off a lie. It's based off of holding certain things back. But and honestly though, at the same time, I don't feel bad for dude because she was her personal trainer. So you have to understand where, as far as Diddy goes, I was paying this dude to train you to keep you right together, and he was giving you more in these extra reps. He was doing a little more than giving you that
extra reps. Not the extra reps.
So I kind of don't feel bad for doing it as well because you was being a slime ball by sleeping with your client. That's
being paid by the slime ball of a man.
Yes, but also away from the whole situation. But this is something that happens in real life. There's women out there who have men who take care of them financially, give them everything they need. But the man's busy and XYZ. But there's always some young dude who's gonna be knocking her down that ain't doing nothing for her.
Knocking.
Knocking her down, knocking her boots off, whatever you want to do, them toes curl, whatever. All I'm saying that Chris Brown told us these girls ain't loyal. Just saying. It don't matter. At the end of the day, it's a doggy dog world out here. You can give your woman everything in the world, and she needs that for real. But anyway, I'm done.
I'm actually sitting here and just thinking about that. If so, let's move on because I know Jeff is in the chat, and Jeff is currently one of our married subscribers.
Whoop whoop.
So they are married. They are married, and she information was withheld. At the very least, there was a story told, but within that story, I gave you just enough, but I didn't give you all of the information that would allow you to make maybe a different decision about our future. Can the marriage withstand? So we've gone past the dating stage. We've gone past the engagement. I am a Mrs. I am Mrs. X. You find out that I gave you a lot of my life story, but I left out some real critical details that may have made you make a different decision about making me Mrs. We now have 5 to 7 years in this marriage. Are you walking away?
Not right away, because it's going to take some. It's going to take some damage control. It's going to have to see a psychiatrist and XYZ. I don't care who you are. I don't think no man can. No man that doesn't know that his lady was in that type of lifestyle, right? And then getting hit with everything all at one time. Like, it's different if you told me, you kind of let me know things XYZ. But once again, it's that same scenario. I rather you tell me versus being told from someone else. So as a man, he cannot unhear that. He cannot unsee that. He cannot.
I agree.
So it's a matter of time. But I mean, honestly, it couldn't be Dwayne. Yeah, not twins. It couldn't be Dwayne. Yeah, you're my full government today. It couldn't be Dwayne. No. Because the things I heard, it's beyond. Like, I heard some stuff, but the stuff that she allowed and did, no. Just no. No. I'm sorry. No.
Can couples you said that things need to be fixed. Can couples therapy ever fix that extent of a lie?
Not that one. Like, I've been okay that, hey, I used to be a stripper back in the day, but that was it. And there's nothing else I hear from that. We can get past that. But to hear about some random person that's gonna do a number one in your mouth, like, that's what? And Cloris, I kiss you all the time.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I need to put. What? Wait a minute. Not number one. Okay, go on.
I'm just saying, just like that right there. Like, I'd be like, what the fuck he just say? A what? And I've been kissing that all the time. No, just no. I
have nothing. I have nothing.
No.
I'm thinking about it. I am thinking about it now. And if I were to ever put myself in a man's shoe, I don't see anywhere where my current boyfriend or my ex-husband that they could get past the fact that I failed to mention in the courting process that I was doing all of this. And then I think some things are okay. Some things are withheld. I'm gonna use the word withheld. I'm not gonna use the word lie right now, and you're gonna understand why. I can understand us withholding certain information in the beginning before you build a level of trust with someone. Because there's some people who are gonna say, I don't need to tell you everything in the beginning. I don't know you like that, right? Like I can give you
True.
the basics of who I am. Here is the
Yeah.
if you ask me who Toshiba is, I'm going to give you the basics. But as we get to know each other and we share more about our lives, things will be revealed. So I can
Yes.
understand maybe the first 3, 4 months, maybe again, withholding certain things and slowly, not lying, because that's the difference. Because if you're asked and you don't tell the truth, that's a lie. But if you simply don't tell right away and it's like an onion, right? You're slowly peeling back the layers and you get to that point where you reveal things, that's one thing. I think even for me as a woman, it would be hella hard for instance, for me to like something like I asked my man if he's ever been married before, and he said, "No, babe, no. We get engaged, go down to go get our marriage license, and they're like, oh, where's your divorce decree from your first marriage? What first marriage, right? Like, that is a lie that because you had a chance. I don't care if that shit happened. I don't care if we got engaged in 6 months. You had a chance somewhere in 6 months to say, babe, by the way, I've also been married before. That's a lot. So now you bring it to finding out, wait a minute, that, that some man went number one in your wife's mouth in front of the world.
And mind you, and it's not like
Wait a minute.
it was even her boyfriend at the time. It's not like, oh yeah, my ex. You letting some random escort do that. So this is it could be anyone at this point. And I promise you, during a relationship time, there was probably things that he might have asked his wife to do. And she's like, oh no, I don't do that. And then now you find out, oh, she does that. She does that and
I didn't even think about that
yeah,
part.
listen, every man has dealt with a woman where she said, I don't do that thing. Okay, whatever. We don't, sometimes we don't care. We don't fight it. What it is. Okay, no, she don't do it. But then kind of find out,
Well,
oh,
she do it. She do it.
so clearly you're not special. So you understand that's also something that's running through his head. You know what I mean? He might not even ask nothing as crazy what she have done. It might be something minor or whatever. And she was like, no, I don't do that. And come now you're in court hearing that she did that and some to some random person. That's now you're my wife. You're somebody that I'm connected to the rest of our life. I'm gonna die for you. I'm gonna fight for you. XYZ. And I can't experience the full benefits of you, but some random person that you don't even know no more, XYZ, had free will of what you want to do to you. But
That's
I'm the stupid one that's like, I'll marry you. I'll be your captain saver, ho. And then now look at you, stupid.
a lot of us, and I don't get emotional on the show. So if women are watching, like, oh my God, how she just be sitting there and let him talk about this woman like that? Listen, we work on logic, not feelings over here. Fuck your feelings, right? That part of the show. However, let me say from a woman's perspective, does it change the scenario if a woman was under duress while performing certain things in a relationship? So in reality, in her mind, I don't do those things. I was coerced. I don't know why I'm having difficulty saying that word. This I was coerced. I was forced. I was under duress. I was in fear for my life. Like and if we're honest, and ladies, I know that it's a lot. There's a lot of Team Cassie and Boo Diddy, burn them on the cross. I want to maintain my lifestyle. And in order to maintain the lifestyle I have so become accustomed to, because that's a pretty good lifestyle, I needed to do those things. But when I When I've now stepped back from it, that is not the woman I ever wanted to be, and definitely not the woman I am now. Mr. Mister's already said nope. He didn't even let me finish. He said nope. Does that
Okay, Max, listen, I just want to say this. There's 365 days in a year, maybe 306 in a leap year, right? You know what I'm saying? That's a long time. So you add that 9 more times to that, that's a long time to be like, I was in distress and XYZ. Nah, you were, that was a lifestyle for you. You accepted that. I can't let that slide. I'm sorry. 365 days is a long time. That's 1 year. You throw 9 more years on top of that, and you no, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Now, I may when I didn't know this, I was Boo Boo the clown, right? I was Boo Boo the fool. But once I've got the information, oh, best believe it, I'm sitting here, I'm just getting everything together. When I go to court to get this divorce, there's gonna be no problems right there. I'm taking the kids, I'm taking that whatever's left of your 30 million, I'm getting all that emotional damage, all that embarrassment. Go ahead.
I just put up. I'm not even gonna read it. So we can read it. We see what Mister has to say. It's just gonna leave that one up there for you guys to do with it as you please.
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, so to do with it as you please. So, and I think this is important because a lot of the conversations that are being had specifically around this case, but in broader terms about why as women we withhold parts of ourselves. We generally have them with other women. And in a lot of other channels and a lot of other conversations I've seen, because again, I was watching one yesterday when it's a co-host like you and I, male and a female, and every time the male says something from the male perspective, the woman shuts him down. Like, and it's her best friend. Like they've been best friends for like 25 years. And it's like, no, 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 no. And I never wanted this channel to be that. I want to sit back and hear what you gentlemen have to say, especially you twins. And so what I am hearing from a male's perspective, which is important because going back to what I was originally saying, as women, when we have these types of conversations, we find excuses as to why we had to exhibit a behavior, withholding the truth, lying, being in situations that we weren't comfortable in, whatever it is that it is. We always find a way to say, no, girl, we understand you had to do that. It's not your fault, blah, 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 blah. What we don't necessarily think about because we're not men is the repercussions that these actions will have when the man does find out, when the man does become aware, when the man has to think about now the world or whomever knows what my wife, my fiance is all about. How do I come back from this moment in time with her? We don't really talk about it. We don't think about it because it's not really for us to think about, right? Like we just think about, no, girl, like you had to do that. You didn't want that man to use it for your military benefits. You didn't want to tell that man about your past because it was only 4 years ago when it was caught on tape and there's pictures all over the internet if he goes far enough. But girl, that's behind you now. And we don't think about what if my man does find out? And to your point, if anybody's going to tell my man about my past, let it be me. And whatever he does with that information, I have to be okay with it because no matter what happened, I still made a choice.
I'll just say this to add to that. Um, if you're going to buy a house
Mm-hmm.
or buy a car, no, let's stay with house because you can have a jacked up credit and still get a car. But if you're trying to buy a house, oh, they look at that credit history.
They
They
do.
gonna see all those repos. They gonna see all those negative balances. They gonna see the bankruptcy, all that stuff, and they're gonna judge you. Okay.
That's Judge Judy.
So if you want that APR that's 5% versus 29%,
Not funny.
your past it does matter,
It does
right?
matter.
So yeah, so let's get away from the people aspect. Your credit. So what I'm saying that you based on your history, you will be judged.
Judge
And
Judy.
honestly, there's a lot of people out there that don't want their credit history put out there. Because some people's credit history is just as bad as Cassie's history. I'm just saying. Message. I know. Let that marinate for a second. I know.
I'm listening. I'm letting people marinate. My man knows my credit history. I'm just gonna tell. I think here's the thing, and this is the space that I've always operated in, and I'm not saying everybody has to operate in the space that I operate in, but I find it makes it easier for my life. I'm going to give you the good, bad, and the ugly, and make you make a decision based on all the information I lay out in front of you. Now, I have always said different people bring out different sides of you, but the good, bad, and the ugly of you will remain the same no matter the relationship that you're in. Because what I never want to do selfishly, and it's not even for the purpose of the man, I don't want to invest my time, energy, and heart into something only to sit down with that man and say, hey, I know I've been with you for a year, but I know you've been talking about children. I don't want to have children. I thought you would just fall in love with me enough to just realize that we could just be the rich aunties and uncles. Hey, I know it's been, 2 years and we're engaged to be married now, but hey, I used to have a site on OnlyFans. By the way, none of this is actually real, guys, other than the big part. I do not have a site on OnlyFans. But you know what I'm saying? Like I have a site on OnlyFans, and before we go, because I had 1 million subscribers, before we really go out and make our life public, I need you to know this. What are you going to do with this? Because at the end of the day, I can't come back from the time and the energy that I put into it. I'm just even speaking from a very selfish perspective. My job at the end of the day is to protect myself in a relationship. Is to protect my heart. I'm going to love my man, but I also, from a selfish, spoiled, only child, bratty, daddy's girl part, I have to protect me. And what I'm not going to do is set myself up to give a man a bunch of lies to build a foundation on. So when he finds out the truth, that foundation crumbles. Because at the end of the day, we lie to men we want. If I don't want you, I don't need to lie. So you're building a life with the man you want and a foundation of lives. And when you find out it crumbles, that is not oops on him. That's oops on me. So I just tell, like, if my man asks me my credit score, if it's date 1 or date 21, I'm going to tell you. If he asks you, have you ever done XYZ because it's a deal breaker for me? If I've done it, I'm going to tell you. Because sometimes you think something is a deal breaker, but for some reason, there's something about you that man is just like, normally for people, this is a deal breaker, but there's just something about Toshiba that every other quality supersedes this little deal breaker I've had with other women. This is the part for me that I think is hard with lying, because I'm like, one, I got to keep up with the lies, and two, if the truth ever really comes out, and I was so scared of the truth, because to me, you only lie when you're scared of the results of the truth. You don't lie about stuff that you're proud of. When you get a promotion at work, do you lie about it? When you get an award for something, do you lie about it?
Nope. Mm-hmm.
We lie about things we're ashamed of. Let's just call it. Let's just call it a day. We lie about things we're ashamed of, or we lie to protect ourselves from a perception that we think people are going to have about us. So going earlier back to the military thing, because Mister, you had it up, and I don't think I put it up. But one of the things in that discussion with the woman who doesn't share that she was in the military for 20 years was that idea that as a military woman, she may not be as feminine. That was actually one of the things that was brought up. Would men consider her less feminine? And I don't think your career has anything to do with your level of femininity. You can be a construction worker and you put on your heels and do what you need to do, and you got the sweetest voice, the most feminine. So I don't think that, but this is a perception you have of yourself. And so reality, you're putting out these lies or withholding information because of something in you that has nothing to do with that person. But now you've brought them into your web of lies, and in the reality, you are the one who's ruining your own shot. You're ruining your own shot. You're ruining your own chances. Now, going back to Cassie, I pray that she told that man everything that was revealed on the stand before it was revealed on the stand. Do I think she did? No.
No, no. I'm gonna tell
No.
I'm gonna tell you no, and I get it because mind you, she's a beautiful woman, right? She's very
She's
attractive.
gorgeous.
So,
Stunning.
so even right now, even let's say they get divorced, there's still gonna be a guy out there like, I don't care what she did, I want her, I still drink her bath water. Like it's always gonna be a simp out there that don't care what it is, always. So you know what I mean. But any man who has some integrity, they're gonna be like, oh hell to the no, hell to the no. Nope, I don't care who she is. Nope.
I'm just sorry guys. I'm gonna put that up there, and it's true. Our history does matter. Our history absolutely does matter. And we've all made decisions in our past that we may not be proud of. But I think at the end of the day, when you have met someone who you want to intertwine your life with, and I'm not just talking about the random person that you're dating, right? I'm talking about somebody you who you meet, you're intentional with them, they're intentional with you. I think you owe it, honestly, again, being selfish, F the other person. I think you owe it to yourself to be as open and as truthful about who you are to that person, because it's actually going to save you heartache in the end. So this is why I pray that Cassie did indeed tell that man, because now she got three small kids, just had a baby like yesterday, today, whenever the baby was born, that baby just popped out. So she got three small kids with this man. He isn't actually. So I will tell you, I know a lot of people were talking about the fact that she got the 30 million. So if people don't know, Cassie got 20 million from Diddy, and she got $10 million from the hotel insurance for what people considered them covering up the case, the what happened, the tape. Um, so some people are like, oh, he can divorce her and take half. That's not entirely true. If it is that she has gotten the money under some, and I'm pretty sure it's like pain or suffering or emotional distress or something of the sort that's particular to her, he cannot get any of the money. It's all hers. But if the settlement is structured differently, where it can be considered a marital asset, then yes, he can get half of the money. But pain and suffering, emotional distress, all of those different things, he cannot get any of the money. So he will get what she's made while they were married, but that part of that 30 million he wouldn't get.
I mean, also too, though in there, right? She's very smart, Cassie, because she has three kids by this fool. So even if he leaves, she's still gonna get a check. I think I think she popped them kids out intentionally because She was with Diddy over 10 plus years and got with this dude, and all of a sudden she has a whole family that she's creating right away. That's kind of bad for someone who's coming out of a situation that's dealt with a lot of trauma, right? It's a lot, and then you just popping out kids. Think about those kids. Now, this is all public record now. your mom, PP mom, like, come, man, them kids gonna eat the little kids up. Them kids better go to private school. They better be in a straight. Matter of fact, they might forget private school. They better be homeschool because they gonna
Stop
get
it.
they both. Oh, no, they find out who her mom is. My mom is
Stop
this.
this.
So
Stop it.
why do you mom mess with R. Kelly? Since she likes pee all the time, she gonna miss R. Kelly. You know what? Let me
I'm
stop.
done. I'm done. I'm done. This is where we cut it. We we are gonna wrap it up for the night. Mister, if you're still in the chat, I think you are. Please get your dating tip ready. I said I was gonna end the show in about an hour, and I am waiting because I gotta be up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Let's talk about dating tips. And I'm going to go first. My dating tip for the ladies is if you're intentional and if a man has shown that he's intentional, I understand not revealing yourself all in the beginning, but I think once you guys have become serious, that man needs to know and should know everything that could potentially make your house a house of cards that can just fall at any moment, right? I think you owe it to yourself and you owe it to that man who is pouring into you to give him all of you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So that is my dating tip. Twins,
Mm. Dating tip to the fellas, as you see now in this era that we're in, there is no accountabilities for the women out here, right? Work on yourself, become the best version of yourself, right? Make sure you sign a prenup before you get married. I don't care how much. I don't care if you have $0 to millions of dollars. I don't care. Sign a prenup because you never know what may come out that scalentor, that closet that she has that has deep, 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 dark Black history information. You don't want to come out and protect your peace. Protect your peace because clearly as a man, you're not a real man if you can't be like her husband. That bullshit. So anyway, focus on you, get your money up, get your health right, and just be the best version of yourself. That's all I gotta say. I got nothing else because like Chris Brown said, these hoes ain't loyal.
like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe this episode. Do not leave before liking this channel. Make sure you subscribe, ladies. I know, but you'll love it over here. I cannot actually have 100% male followers of the almost 1,500 subscribers I have. My God, not even 0.1% women are following. Anyways, but men, I love you. Thank you for accepting me over in this space. Again, like, share, subscribe, check out my book, the Sienna series, No Handouts for Black Girls, and Love Rules Part 1 and 2. Number 3 will be out on Monday. So Love Rules Part 3 is releasing
Oh,
on Monday. I'm telling you, I'm pulling, even with all of the work schedule I've got going on, I'm still pushing these books out. Okay. This is why I team no sleep over here because I'm doing everything I'm doing in work and pushing out these bloody books and still having this show. So, I mean, okay. So we appreciate you. I hopefully will have up some videos this weekend of my very hectic schedule. I thank all of you for watching. I thank you, twins, for joining me. Again, like, share, and subscribe. I don't see Mr. with a dating tip, so I am going to say deuces. Have a good night. Bye.